Engagement's really, really important with your application, because once you've spent the time building your app, and then you've launched your application and you're marketing it out to your user audience, how are you going to make sure that they're engaged, the experience of using the app is good, they're getting the content or the information, or it's improving the process or whatever your app does that suits their needs. So some things to think about here, definitely, and we can help you with this. Please reach out to your account manager if you want to talk through them. I'd start off by talking about gamification. So if you want to make your app sticky, use gamification. It's a proven engagement strategy that makes the UX, CX fun, easy to use. And the gamification really hooks users by incentivizing this mobile app engagement with interactive features such as challenges, progressions, achievement systems like badges. It could be leaderboards. And in short, there's 4 big mechanics that sort of sit behind gamification. One is a competitive sort of UX. So having that vehicle for people to have a sense of achievement is really helpful. You want to have progress that's clear and visible, so that sort of fulfills the user's need for growth, if you like. Think about rewards for participation, and I'll come on to that in a few minutes' time. And make sure that it's it's simple. The simplicity, winning's easy to understand. It can be tricky with gamification, but we can help you, as I say, with ideas around the features that are right for your app and for your audience. It could be bookmarking, liking, comments. I mentioned leaderboards, badges, achievements. It could be something else. So, if you are thinking about how you can get your user audience to be more engaged with your application, reach out to us and we can talk to you about the features and functionality that might help you. Onboarding, I mentioned having an onboarding plan. I think the biggest drop-off in user engagement happens during onboarding, right? So we see clients that have a lot of downloads, but maybe not registrations. So every added step as part of your onboarding process results in a 20% increase in user churn. So we want to make that as minimal as possible, but obviously you will have either security that you need to go through, or you might want people to register, etc. So for a more effective onboarding, I think keep tutorials in the app to a minimum to demonstrate the value proposition as quickly as possible. But ask yourself, like for a marketing or a BD app, for example, for public use, do you really need a registration screen? Because that might be putting users off. You could capture user information in another way. If it's only to capture who's using your app, maybe we do that using the forms. There's other things to look at. Definitely think about social features. So it could be a Twitter/X feed and the ability to share content on socials, which is obviously going to broaden the reach of the content within your applications. If people are sharing that for you, they're kind of doing some marketing for you. But it could be about making your app more social in its user experience as well. So could you add like posts or news with features that encourages a community aspect to the app, so users can network and share thoughts and ideas and have those discussions using the forum functionality. Think about competitive features. I mentioned it earlier on. A leaderboard could be a really excellent way to engage your audience, so rewarding points or badges for certain activities. And we've seen this work really well, particularly on event applications, where I did have a client that created a huge buzz at a 3-day event with the attendees sort of scrambling to climb that leaderboard, beat their colleagues, get above them in the leaderboard. So it could be a really good way to get people to undertake certain activities or actions either at the event or in your application. And it could be linked to incentives or prizes. So incentives and prizes is a delicate one for you. I think you have budget concerns and all those sorts of things, but they can be used to drive adoption and engagement during your launch, or whilst you're running a specific event or campaign within the app. And we've seen this work really well with things like lead generation in BD apps to drive downloads, registrations, encourage survey responses, and those sorts of things. And it brings to mind one client that attended an event in a certain industry area, and as part of their booth approach, they were asking attendees to download their application. If they did at that point in time and registered, then they earned I think it was a $5 sort of coffee voucher. So relatively small in terms of like a marketing cost for acquiring leads, etc. But something to think about if you've got a budget, how you might be able to utilize that to leverage engagement with your application. Support and FAQs I touched on earlier, and then surveys. So surveys are really key to sort of continue the development of your app, to make enhancements to it. You want to listen to your audience, continuously drive improvements within your app, deliver the content, the functionality, or the experience that they require. So you should look to make enhancements, even small ones, to your app, probably every 6 months. And